Hi, and welcome to the Introduction to CAPS. So, if you're looking for this video, you probably already know, but CAPS is Greenheck fans' solution to computer-aided selection. So, I found that there were not videos out there that were very helpful with getting us going on this, and so I made my own. My name's Forrest. I'm with JJP Mechanical Reps in Nashville, Tennessee. We rep Greenheck fans, and I love the software. So, Greenheck has a variety of products. We have everything from louvers and dampers to roof-mounted fans and energy recovery ventilators, makeup air units. And so you can select all of these things in CAPS, which is awesome. All right, so to get CAPS in the first place, you can go to Greenheck's website. You can go to the software tab, and then it will pull this up. And CAPS All Products will be the full version of CAPS. Now, you need to be registered, so you can click that account registration, and you can send in. It's quick and easy. They'll send you, a username and password, and then you can get started on that. You can go ahead and start downloading and whatnot and get started there. eCAPS is a fan application suite, which I'm going to show you. It is completely online. There is no password or username required for that. It's only good for fans, though. All right, so makeup air units, louvers, you're out of luck with eCAPS. But eCAPS can be very easy to help you get started, kind of get your feet wet with Greenheck's products. So let me show you this real quick. This is what, if you go to that eCAPS, if you just Google eCAPS, it'll pull this up as the first link, and you can go to this page. So you can click and hover over any of the product families that you know you want to start with, and you can start into that. There's also this toolbox over here, so don't miss this. You can get the most from eCAPS. There's a little video about it. System Effects Simulator looks at inlets and outlets. Very green motors are incredibly energy efficient. There's some great videos there on that. PDH credit hours. So if you're a professional engineer or professional of another sort and need some PDH credits, you might be able to get those through some fan courses here. All right, so let's take a look at a 1000 CFM roof mount exhaust fan with 1/2 inch of static. We're going to click on the roof exhaust up here. This will bring us down to where we can put some CFM and some pressure, and then an elevation for where you are geographically. If you have no idea what your elevation is, there's a little world symbol there that you can click on. It'll help you geographically figure out what your elevation is. All right, and as you put those in, it's going to offer up every single fan that Greenheck offers that's a roof exhaust fan that meets that airflow and static requirements. And then you can sort that by category. So, and you've also got these little yellow bars where you can put, emergency smoke control. It's going to weed out everything that's not UL listed for smoke control. You can change the housing style or up blast or down blast or any of those sort of things. And it spits out this good looking little picture over here about what the fan is. It shows you the fan curve, and you can very quickly scroll between those. All right, you can generate a schedule that looks like this, and it'll even give you a budget price. So if you're just trying to figure out, well, I think this is the one that I want, but it may be too expensive, this can help you kind of make some of those decisions maybe. All right, in CAPS, in the full version of CAPS, there are 4 ways that you can make selections. There's 2 by model, so you can click the drop down and search by model. It'll go by families and things like that. If you already know the model, if you've looked at a catalog or something like that, and you know, I want to go with a cube, which the cube fan can be confusing because it doesn't actually look like a cube, but it's a centrifugal upblast belt-driven fan. All right, so CUB. So you know you need a cube, so you can type that into this blank up here, and it'll pull up cube fans. You can also select by application, so if you know that it's something that has to do with the kitchen, but you're not exactly sure which family, you can click that drop-down menu. You can also select by manufacturer, so if you've been using someone else's fan, but you want to see what crosses over to a Greenheck, you can use the select by manufacturer. It'll allow you to pull up a bunch of different other manufacturers and then cross-reference your products, all right? So this is what CAPS itself looks like. 1000 CFM motor like we looked at before, roof mount, static. First you've got to create a job, and then you've got to create a mark, which a mark is what they call, a unit within there. So you create a mark, and then you can pull up the select by model. You've got all these options of families, and so these can be confusing sometimes, and that's one reason that I really like the eCAPS software, because you don't have to make those decisions right off the bat. You can kind of explore. But to help you make those decisions, we'll talk about this in just a second. There are descriptions, specifications, and some info there. You can also see on this screen the Select by Application tab. So that's what that tree looks like. So if you're kind of wanting to ease in that way, maybe that'll help you make some decisions. You pick a mark, then you put in the CFM, your static, and your elevation, and it will generate this list down here. But notice, the list down here is all GB fans because we had to pick the GB family of fans. So the explanation tabs can be very helpful. It shows you a picture of the fan that you're looking at, and then it gives you a brief description of what it is, the CFM range generally, and the static pressure that you're dealing with. You can also pull up the specifications, which are copy and pastable if you want to use those if you're trying to write some specs, or give someone guidance onto what you're trying to do here. You also get contact info, and then down at the bottom there's documents. So like the IOM for it, or the catalog, or any of those things, you can click straight to those and dig a little bit more before you commit to a family of fans. So once you've picked kind of a family of fans and you've got that, this is what the sizing chart looks like. So the first column is the relative cost, and this helps you understand, okay, if I make this choice, how expensive is this going to be? You've got all these columns across that you can look at, so maybe noise is a big concern. You can categorize by the inlet zones or the dBA or whatever you have as a requirement. You notice on these model numbers, there's a Cube 141, and then there's some with a VG at the end, and then there's some with a VGD. So the VG and VGD are these products down at the bottom. The Very Green motor is an awesome product. It's an ECM motor, electrically commutated motor, which means you can vary the fan speed, and it has a dial right there on it, or you can put an input signal to it, 0 to 10 volts, and control the speed with like a building control system or something like that. The Very Green Drive is a 3-phase product, right? So if you've got 3-phase power, you're talking about bigger motors and things like that. The Very Green Drive is actually a VFD that's very easy to install and get started in the field. So you don't need to include startup, and you don't need to have an elaborate anything. You don't need to buy a VFD from anyone else and put it in an outdoor housing and be sure that you can just use the Very Green Drive. I point out this customized grid tab over here because sometimes people care about tip speed or wheel diameters or certain things like that. You can customize this grid, and you can add some extra categories that aren't normally part of it. So from here you can pull up fan curves. You can compare different fans within that selection. You can come over here to the configuration tab, and then you can look at the construction, the motor, the accessories with your particular fan. You can also generate drawings very quickly. You can look at these, and you can bounce back and forth between these tabs. You can go back to sizing. You can look at a different one if you have some sizing constraints that you need to look at on the drawing. There's also these incredible energy savings tools. So depending on what product family you are, there will be an energy savings tab. Two on the left are dealing with variable speed fans. The one on the right is for a lab fan that has an energy recovery unit built in. And so you can look at some paybacks and some things there and see what you get. To get information out of CAPS, you go to the print tab, and then it's going to have these things. This is from my version as a rep. So I have pricing. You don't have a pricing tab. But you can get submittals, IOMs, Revit models out of that. You can then follow through the tabs. I'll point out the include accessory pages, which is important if you want to get curb drawings. All right, you can get IOM straight out of there. There you go. So I hope this was helpful. Hope you enjoyed it. There we are.